Welcome to the regular meeting of the Recreation Parks and Cultural Affairs Committee on November 12th, 2025. And we have a quorum with Miss Lisa Shanahan, Miss Nicole Eady, Miss Heather Dunn, Mr. Doug Sutton, and myself. So we're going to call the meeting to order. I already did the roll calls. We have acceptance of the October 8th minutes. Someone move that? All in favor? Okay.
I have to abstain because I
Oh,
was,
I'm sorry. Okay.
yeah, no worries.
One abstention, Ms. Shanahan. So we move on to public participation. Ms. Byrd. We have Ms. Diane Lortella. Good evening.
Good evening, Chair Young and members of the council. I guess this is your last Recreation and Parks Committee meeting of this round, and I thank you all for your service and thank you to the staff. For the record, my name is Diane Loricella, 21 Little Fox Lane. I will cover quickly 4 items on the agenda. I would be remiss if I did not mention a few things. One thing that I really hold you all to account in the future and in the past is the willingness and the discussion during the campaigns about transparency, improving public outreach, and making time to listen to those of us that spend time doing our due diligence. So I'm holding you all to that in the future. But in the meantime, on item E, I love our beach, and I really think the staff have done, with the council, the taxpayer, and the mayor, have really improved a lot of things about the beach. But I am somewhat concerned that this particular light pole, single source, but light pole project for over $250,000 is necessary. Is it nice? Would things match? Maybe, but is it necessary? Is it needed in light of the fact that many of us have to trim our budgets? Mainly, the issue is I believe that these light poles, if it's the ones I think they are, have already had LED substitution and dark sky substitution. So I look forward to listening why you all think there may be a need and why the staff thinks there's a need to replace them. In item F, the Greenway Property Services, I'm the founding president of the Newark River Watershed Association. I'm well aware of the area, and I'm not saying that this project is not totally undeserving, but I wanted to know whose idea this was and how was this site selected. I'm not aware that there was a effort to contact the environmental leaders in the community besides Ms. Shanahan and Ms. Washer and others to see if there are other more deserving projects or whether the $750,000 project, the Urban Trails grant, could have been split into maybe 2 different projects because there are, I think, more deserving sites, especially closer to District A and District B that would have fulfilled the urban grant project. Item G is the Recreation and Park Fund. I'm very pleased that we're making some movement there. I just ask that we also include budgeting for natural turf field design, construction, and maintenance. I don't see that in this particular item, and I believe it's very important because I know should this committee and others actually do a survey of the different benefits and costs of natural turf versus artificial turf, I think you'll find you with just a lot more investment initially up front in a well-designed site that you will have less costs later on for disposal as well as maintenance. And lastly, for the discussion item of the beach camp project, I'm just starting to look into this, and I do know there was a review before Mr. Stowers got on board and many of you, and that is that a whole complex review with a consultant had been put together. I really feel it's important to look at the entire building sites. I do think that they were not planned out very well over the years with Mr. Bondi and others. And I do wish that we're going to include solar and heat pumps in whatever kind of construction is done. Thank you for your service. and I look forward to listening to the recording later on. Good night.
If anyone else would like to speak, can you please raise your hand?
Johan needs to be brought over.
Yeah, but we're gonna do that in 1 second. I don't think we have anybody else. Darlene, you're muted.
So we'll move on to new business. 6A, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to enter into an agreement for the use of Veterans Park and immediate surrounding grounds by Norwalk Seaport for their Oyster Festival to be held on Friday, September 11th, 2026 from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, September 12th from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. and Sunday, September 13th from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Setup time by 8 a.m. August 14th with tear down by September 30th, 10 p.m. Approximately 35,000 people. Would someone move the item, please? Thank you, Ms. Shanahan. And who do we have? Is that Michael?
I think Jerry Tony's here.
Jerry as well?
Jerry Tony.
You guys are muted.
Mr. Tony? What's going on?
Yeah, he must be muted.
It sounds like, are they speaking?
No, they're muted.
They're muted.
Yeah, they have to unmute themselves.
Hang on, I'm texting him. He said he's on.
His audio just not working.
Maybe we want to come back to them.
We can come back. You know, this is we can come back. It's again, it's the historical Oyster Fest. It's their annual request to hold their festival, Oyster Festival there. But yeah, we can come back.
I have a Pat raising their hand. Is that part of this, or should I unmute them?
Who is it?
Pat?
Maybe, see if that works, if
Maybe.
that's. Pat?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Jerry Tony speaking. I'm sorry.
Okay. Go ahead, Jerry.
Good evening, Robert. Starting technology keeps getting in the way.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you're getting an early start on this. We kind of like that, so.
me too. Just one of those things, Councilwoman, just check it off my list, as you know.
Yeah.
The festival, you already had the dates, they're correct. We don't anticipate any major difference. There's one thing that we're gonna do this year that's gonna be different, and we're gonna have 3 days of sunshine,
Okay.
God willing.
Yeah.
But no, the program's about the same. It's done well. I mean, everything goes well. The Parks and Rec, they're incredibly cooperative with us. We appreciate that. All the town officials from police and fire, Norwalk Hospital, everybody cooperates. We've got a very good team in-house. And we just have to be subjected to the weather. But other than that, everything is fine and we're going full steam ahead.
So what was the attendance like this year? We had really 2 beautiful days.
No, actually, they weren't really
They
that.
weren't?
Councilwoman, no. Yeah.
I know there was one really bad day. I hope there was.
Yeah. Well,
Good days.
we totally lost Saturday. We never opened, and that was a
Right.
shame. But it was the correct decision. If anybody was around Norwalk at about 3:15 on Saturday, you understand why that decision was the correct one. Now even Friday and Sunday were weak, and the attendance was not good at all this year. As somebody taught me a long time ago about this business, sometimes the threat of rain is worse than rain itself.
Mm.
You know, and it was kind of gloomy and the forecast didn't look good, so people put it off, and it just where it was. So we got through it. You know, our vendors did also. So we just hope for the good weather. And but again, we always appreciate all the cooperation from all the city offices, the people on the field, the workers primarily, the men and women that service the field of Veterans Park, and of course all the other emergency services in town. They work well with us and we work well with them. So we got a great event. It draws a lot of people. We just need to do a little bit better with the weather luck.
Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Nope. All right, all in favor? I'm sorry, did you have a question, Heather?
No, I just also wanted to shout out and send my condolences to the loss of Mark Schlegel also.
Mm.
He was a wonderful member of our community too, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Councilman, for raising that issue. It's Mark had been ill for many, many years. He fought a great fight. He's an incredible individual, and it would take us years to list his accomplishments and contribution to the Seaport Association, and specifically to Sheffield Island Lighthouse. He's just a wonderful, wonderful man, and he's a really good guy, and we're going to miss him. Thank you for that shout out.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dunn, for that. All in favor? All right, it's unanimous. All right, Pat, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Have a good night.
Good night.
B, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to enter into an agreement for the use of Taylor Farm and immediate surrounding grounds by Friends of Norwalk Dogs for their holiday party to be held on Sunday, December 21st, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., approximately 70 people. Would someone move the item, please? Thank you, Ms. Dunn. Okay, who do we have here?
We should have Helen Marker. Helen should
Uh,
be on.
I don't believe she's here.
Yeah, okay. Well, this is our Friends
Not
of
sure what
Norwalk.
that 10 a.m. meant.
Friends of Norwalk dog. And they've been a partner with us for the last 3 years, putting on events and raising money for our dog parks, and in terms of poop bags and just raising money for some ancillary things in our parks. They're a good partner, and they were vital and instrumental in lobbying for the dog park at Oyster Tail Park. So they put on these events. This is a holiday party event for dogs, and they're widely attended, and they've had, I think, 3 or 4 of them now since they've started. So we recommend this, Madam Chair, to the committee.
Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns from committee members? No? All in favor? All right. Thank you. C, authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to enter into an agreement for the use of Bry McMahon High School and immediate surrounding grounds by Club Connecticut for their Boston Build-Up 10K to be held on Sunday, January 4th, 2026, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., approximately 125 people. Someone move the item? Thank you, Mr. Sutton. And who do we have?
Jim Gerlich.
Yep, I'm here. Hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Good. I just got off another meeting, so
Oh, boy. We'll make this quick too.
that's
Okay.
all right. That's all right.
So if you could just tell us a little bit about your event.
Yep, it's this will be, I think, the 47th year of the Winter
Good.
Series. And it's just something that we've been doing to give local runners something to do over the cold months of January and February to keep them motivated and moving.
Great. Great. What's the turnout? Do you usually get 125? Is it a little less, a little more? Is it just kind of
Depends on the weather, but
weather
most of the
dependent,
people,
yeah.
yeah, most of the people are pretty hardy. I mean, we run it in 20-25 degree weather some years, and some years people are out in shorts and short sleeve shirts. So
All right. Do we have any comments, concerns, questions for Mr. Gork? All right. There are none. All in favor? All right, that's unanimous. Have a good
Okay.
evening.
all right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. D, authorize the purchasing agent to issue a sole source purchase order for M.E. O'Brien and Sons for playground equipment and installation at Fox Run School in an amount not to exceed $154,805.92 from account number noted. Would someone move the item, please? Thank you, Mr. Johan Lopez.
Yes, yeah, this one's ours. Of course, this is for a new playground at Fox Run, and Ken has done an amazing job working with the principal in the school to review designs, and so we have some approval of the principal and his team, and so we're looking to go ahead and get this this underway. Ken, may you have more details?
No, so I mean, this was an approved capital project within our last capital budget. So I've been working with Carla Montiero as well as our playground designer. So the school is getting exactly what they want for this playground. So once we order the equipment, we hope to have the install done by Christmas, if not by Christmas, by late winter. School's excited.
Yeah. And all of our playground equipment is ADA compliant, correct?
Yes, yep. So with the new playground, there's a percentage of the equipment that needs to be ADA compliant. So it's not 100% compliant, and I mean not 100% ADA compatible, but it is compliant to the standards. So the two playgrounds we have that are 100% are at Senior Center, which was NECC, and then also at Devon's Place. Those two are 100% compliant.
Also, we are in the midst of signing an agreement for a audit of our playgrounds. I know there was a comprehensive audit of the whole city, but they didn't cover everything. They covered most of our parks, but not all of our playgrounds. So we will be having a report on that. So that will give us an idea of what we need to improve.
And what's the useful life on our equipment generally?
We've been getting 12 to 15 years.
Okay.
I mean, our school equipment's heavily used because not only is it used by the school, but then it converts to a park after school hours. So it's used by the neighborhoods as well. So, we do a pretty good job keeping up on maintenance of our equipment. We have a pretty good stock of parts. And that's one of the reasons why we stay with Landscape Structures.
Any questions, comments, concerns? If not, all in favor? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you. E. Authorize a purchasing agent to issue a sole source purchase order for Spring City for the purchase of 50 LED light pole fixtures in an amount not to exceed $279,800 from account number noted. These poles will replace existing poles and fixtures at Calf Pasture Beach. Would someone move the item, please? Thank you, Ms. Shanahan.
I'll let Ken explain this. We're in need of a solution to the light poles there that are being bent because of the wind. And it's not just the poles, it's the light fixtures. And so Ken's been researching that, and he can explain to one of our speakers basically that it's a little bit more involved in just a new project to put up poles. So I'll let Ken explain it. He's been working with it.
Yes, so this is also a project that was approved within the last capital budget. So if you guys are familiar with the existing walkway light poles down at Calf Pasture, on the top of the fixture, there's a huge plastic globe. And what has been happening due to the wind down at the beach, because of the size of that globe, the poles oscillate. And we get calls all the time about the poles swaying back and forth in the wind. And what has happened over time, the poles have started snapping. So instead of replacing the poles, we just kind of capped them off and made them safe at ground level. So if you walk through the beach, I think now you'll see the 5 or 6 poles that have snapped that we have yet to replace. So one of the solutions we came up with is actually the city standard light fixture. And if you're familiar with these light fixtures, there is no plastic globe on top. It's kind of like a see-through LED fixture, which will allow the wind to pass right through the fixture itself. About 8 or 9 years ago, we were given 12 LED retrofits to try down at the beach. And what the retrofits were, they were a base with a metal stem, and then the LED fixture sat on top of that stem. But what has been happening as the poles oscillate back and forth, that metal stem has been snapping. So we ended up replacing those with halogen lights as the stem snapped. So that wasn't a good solution. We did purchase one of these poles last year. It's installed at the beach now. We want to do kind of a little bit of a test and trial, and the pole's been working great since then. We go down there during wind events and we don't see that pole moving at all. So we think this will be a solid solution to the problem we're having. Not to mention we'll be replacing halogen lights with LEDs.
Any questions? Yes, Ms. Shanahan.
I might have missed this, but so are the LED lights, are those the ones that are dark sky compliant? using the word?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Mr. Lopez?
Thank you, Chair. Good question, Ken.
Okay.
Is there any way to change the standard itself to possibly allow competitive bidding for this type of equipment? Is that something that's possible?
That might be a broader conversation than myself. I mean, this is the city standard light fixture. I'm not 100% sure how these standards are adopted, but I know these poles and fixtures are used throughout Washington Street, around the Maritime, around Ryan Park. I do know that we buy directly from the manufacturer. So there is no middleman. But in terms of creating a new city standard, I don't have an answer for that.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's fair. Thank you. That's fine.
Ms. Edie?
Thank you, Chair. Quick question. I
Yeah.
just want to know, where is the pole that's that you're testing out right now? Where exactly is it?
So if you go down to the main walkway at the beach where we have our raised planter, you know, the main walkway between the two bathroom buildings, which
Yeah,
leads to
okay,
a
so-
large flagpole.
Okay, so that's where it is.
It's that first pole before you get to the flagpole.
Okay. Thank you. I
You're
just want to
welcome.
look at. Thank you.
Sure.
Are there variations in the brightness or the wattage, or is it all, are they all kind of standard?
I'm sure there can be.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there can be.
Can be, yeah.
And I'm just going to share my concern
Yep.
with you because I know we talked about it. My one concern, and it's probably, you know, the lighting in this area, infrastructure issue here, but too often those lamp poles are out. Various intervals, they're just not on, and so I hope that whatever's happening here is something that won't happen over at the beach.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
you know,
putting that out there.
we maintain our existing poles now. We're constantly replacing light bulbs and heads. You know, we're soon to have another staff electrician, which actually helps. So when we do have a pole out, we're able to jump right on it. A lot of times there's loose wires up at top of the head because of the wind,
Mm,
and sometimes the bulb is just out.
right. Right.
So unless you have somebody consistently maintaining those, you know, before you know it, one turns to two, two turns to four, then you know you have a dozen out.
Yeah, a lot of times we're unaware of it until someone lets us know. But we recently started our park ambassadors, and so they're out in mostly evening hours now, afternoon, late afternoon, evening hours. So they're reporting back to us some of the things that we have not, you know, seen right away. So I think things are going to be better in terms of getting things done a lot quicker. So this is something we'll bring up to them to watch out for.
Yes. All right. Any more questions, comments, concerns? All in favor? All right, that's unanimous. And so when do we think we're getting started with this?
So it's about an 8 to 10 week lead time on delivery. So this still has to go to the common council, and then I'll have to have a purchase order created, and then we'll be able to start that process. So
All right.
I hope to have it by mid-spring finished.
Great. All right. Moving on, F. authorize the mayor, Harry W. Rilling, to enter into a contract with Greenway Property Services for grant project number 4463R, Norwalk Urban Trails Projects, in an amount not to exceed $724,828.50 from account numbers noted, which, should I just read F1 along with that, I guess?
Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah. you
Yeah.
can-
So F1, authorize the Director of Recreation and Parks to issue change orders in an amount not to exceed $41,515 with Greenway Property Services for grant project number 4463R, Norwalk Urban Trails Projects from account numbers noted. Would someone move the item, please? Thank you, Miss Edie. Okay.
Yeah, Madam Chair and Committee, this is a grant that, one of two grants that we got, that we received, from the state, to do community trails. And so, in looking at all of our available land and urban forest, these were the two areas that fit what we actually talked about in our grant. And this was the Woods Pond area, which has needed attention, and we've given it a lot of attention lately, including developing a friends group there. That we are working on an agreement right now, and also Lakewood community. And Ken has worked with the A-Trails urban forest trails designer to come up with some designs, which we have shown to the community. We've had two long, lengthy community meetings, and also we have answered questions from several legislative representatives and some city council folks as well, in terms of answering their questions about some of the concerns of the community. I think we've tried to answer those. Ken's done some specific tours, and we've done some mitigation in terms of properties around that are parallel to the trail. So we are looking now to go ahead and to award these contracts for these trails to be built. So we can take any questions. Ken's probably better at answering them. He's spent more time with this, but I've been involved in the meetings along with Vanessa. So we can take your questions.
Any questions from Ms. Dunn?
Hi, Robert, is this land that the city owns? Is this open space that belongs to us?
Yes, it is.
So we're not
Land
gonna,
the city owns.
okay,
And managing our urban forests, which we really are trying to do a good job doing that. It also maintained a safety. There's a safety aspect to maintaining urban forest and maintenance. And so, we're tying that into this whole project as well.
you know, when I looked at the drawing, there was the first thing was these trees are coming down. It kind of gave me pause, but I guess you're planting new trees there. So that was my only concern too. But my second thing is, I know that, was it Lakewood? There's a lot of illegal dumping around there. Is there some way that we're specifically trying to stop that, or anything you've put in place to make sure that doesn't happen?
Yeah, so we are gonna have a bollard at the main entrance to that illegal dumping. And then also, once you activate programming on a site, it brings more eyes to the site. So we're hoping more, trail use on that site would really curb the illegal dumping.
I'm not sure. I think I saw Miss Edie and then Mr. Lopez. He was first, or Mr. Lopez? Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Thank you, Chair. Ken, quick question. How are these two sites identified, or what was the criteria in selecting these two sites?
Yep. So we actually reviewed a list of, I would say 8 or 9 properties that were already owned by the city. So we looked for properties that were large enough, of course, to do a trail system. And also properties that were within a community that, you know, where the community could really benefit from having walking trails that they can actually walk to instead of driving a car, getting out and walking. So those are two of the criteria that I used. You know, city owned, big enough, and also within communities.
During your sort of assessment, I know what the caller mentioned District A or District B. Were those districts considered? Were there any properties or within those districts?
So we
or-
look citywide. The city owns many small properties, like 1/10 of an acre, half an acre, which weren't conducive at all to walking trails. So the woods parcel, for example, is actually 2 city parcels next to each other. So that site, you know, with the combination of Woods Pond, the existing parking lot, that was ideal. And then Lakewood, you know, we don't really have anything, you know, in the recreational department in the Lakewood area. So this actually fit well and it's going to bring something to the community that they were very excited. You know, the Lakewood community, when we had the public meeting, you know, they were excited about the trail. So, you know, we're looking forward to putting it in for them.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Ken.
Miss Edie?
Yeah, well, actually, Johan, both questions. I
I
am.
read your mind. I'm
Yeah,
telling
you
you, I
did.
knew.
Actually, yeah, I was just, I don't know. I'm still like, I guess, I don't know. There were no suggestions for other areas, maybe one, you know, I was just trying to figure all that out.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, if you really think about, you know, land that the city currently owns, there's really not much available that can support this type of recreation.
Okay. No, I understand. Thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Shanahan?
Yeah, I just wanted to just thank Ken and Robert for looking at these types of projects. And I understand people wanting them to be more in places like Districts A and District B. Speaking as a former land trust president, we were always looking to try to find big enough parcels in A or B to purchase. But unfortunately, there just isn't larger parcels that are, you know, types of things where you can put in trails or have conservation type program. So I applaud you for, you know, looking through the urban forestry that we already own and taking care of that. And then, you know, we'll just have to find different ways. You know, for instance, the microforest that we put in South Norwalk is definitely a great opportunity for us to, you know, add trees to an area, clean the air, and give people, you know, a really beautiful thing to look at, even if you can't necessarily have long walks and things like that. So I think we have to be creative in thinking about how to address greenery in districts A and B and places like that. But I really applaud the Recs and Parks Department for going out and taking care of the urban forestry that we already own. So thank you.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Robert and Ken, I know that this, we had residents that, you know, had some concerns, but you did go out and talk to folks too about the changes. And we're not overdoing it either, right? I mean, it's very, I don't want to say minimal,
Change the
but
plans twice based
but
on
right,
the
right,
input
really
of the 2
responding
community
to
meetings.
the,
Yeah.
right. And I think, I think as both, you know, Mr. Lopez and Ms. Edie have said, I think, you know, and Ms. Shanahan, we just have to be creative in other areas that are so densely populated. It's going to look different in every area across the city, but we do need to look and explore. So appreciate the work that's being done. Any comments, questions, concerns? None? All in favor? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you. All right, we're on to G. Authorize the establishment of the Recreation and Sports Activities Account. The account shall include revenue sources and program expenditures as defined in the Recreation and Sports Activities Program document dated October 2025. Account funds shall not lapse and shall be available exclusively for the purposes identified in the program document. The Director of Recreation and Parks shall report to the Board of Estimate and Taxation and the Common Council on the status of the account before April 1st of each year. Would someone move the item, please? Thank you, Mr. Sutton. Mr.
Madam
Sutton.
Chair and committee, this is an idea that has that started a couple of years ago under the old financial, they passed under Henry, the past financial chief. And really what it is it's establishing a park and recreation fund. And so revenues would created by recreational activities and sports would go into this account. The purpose of this account is to convert the current 4,000 play and learn account, the sports and aquatics program revenue account, into a new recreation and sports activity account. The current play and learn account has existed since 2010. It has functioned as a revolving account, non-lapsing, but it has never run into a deficit and has demonstrated an average annual growth of about 14%. The other two programs, the sports and aquatics, have also never been in a deficit in terms of the cost to revenue. The new fund will result in greater accountability, continued flexibility, taking advantage of developing and financing trending sports and new recreational activities and programs, therefore generating increased revenues for both this fund and the general fund in the long run. Also, the new proposed recreation sports activity account will come under the requirements of a municipal revenue fund that will have to meet all requirements of a city revenue fund. The fund must be used to account for revenues that are restricted to specific purposes, like a particular project or program, in this case, the recreation program. The fund will ensure accountability, transparency, and demonstrate how tax dollars are being used for the intended use. Currently, the play and learn account, which is a non-lapsing account, and which was just camp funds that came in and some miscellaneous recreation funds, they weren't budgeted, and they weren't they were not there was really no oversight by the council or the BET. We went to the budget examination and tax board, and I've been working with Jared to structure this in such a way that the BET, the Budget Examination Taxation Board, would pass it. So last week, the Budget and Taxation Examination Board passed this, and they're recommending it to be passed here, and also they'll go to the Finance Committee. But this account will really assist Parks and Recreation in generating more programs and have more flexibility to meet the demands of recreation in this city, and particularly with the new recreation center, community center that is coming on board. We'll need some more flexibility in terms of spending. So the BET did pass this last Monday in their meeting, and Jared will be taking this to the Finance Committee, as I am taking it to this committee to be approved. So I'll take any questions about the fund.
Ms. Shanahan?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. So, we've created funds like this before. We've done it via the ordinance committee, though, because we had a number of restrictions, reporting requirements, and things like that. And so we started doing that. We have it for the cannabis fund. We have it for the tree fund. There might be, there might be one other one that we wrote. And it seems to me that even if you don't use put it through the ordinance committee, that the fund ought to reflect a lot of the same rules that we had for those two accounts. So maybe it really should go through ordinance. I mean, I'm all in favor of it. I think it's a great idea. We should definitely have it. It's just that if we're going to have a bunch of different accounts in the city, it seems like they ought to have all the same structure so that we don't have people worrying about what rules apply, what account and things like that. So that's my first question or suggestion. But I'm all in
Yeah.
favor of it, like all in favor of it,
Thank
but
you.
I just feel like it
Yeah.
ought to be structured, similar
Yeah.
to the other accounts that we've used. And then this
Yeah.
question I had is, for instance, in the tree account, we can take donations and we can also take fines and things like that. And that's, maybe when we're thinking about this account, again, going back to the idea, maybe it could be even broader than just the things that you have going into it now. I know
Mhm.
you've thought about having a foundation or a Friends of the Parks, and I wonder how this would be different than that.
Yeah. Yeah, the park foundation would be a lot different. Usually park foundations are really what they want to do, what the mission usually is um, they raise capital funds for parks,
Mm-hmm.
not recreation so much, but parks, trails, forests, renovation of parks. So see this as a fund that will help us with recreation more and the foundation helping on the park side more.
Okay, so you're viewing
But
this more of
not
an
exclusive.
operating, for helping operating programs
Yeah.
versus the foundation being more of
Right.
capital expenditures. And it could be actually capital expenditures in a recreation. You might want to have a pool or
Right.
something like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I agree with you. I mean, if the will of the committees, the finance committee and Jared to go to the ordinance committee, that's
Yeah.
good. The more agreement we get, that solidifies the
Yeah, I'm not trying to make it, more difficult or whatever, but I
Yeah.
just think streamlining and like the same, if we have a bunch of these accounts, they all ought to operate the same way. I think it's a great
Right.
idea to have it.
I agree.
Thank you, Ms. Shanahan. Ms. Edie?
Thank you, Chair. Once again, somebody asked my question. Thanks, Lisa. It was, I wanted to know the difference between, this fund and the foundation that we were talking about. So, will this, fund help towards the ball field that we want to keep up that? Would that be part of it?
Actually, it does allow us to spend money in the document. It allows us to spend money for the
For the
ballpark.
ballpark,
But
okay.
I'm thinking when we do some of our ballparks, and we just done two, need renovation and
Mhm.
drastic renovation would probably come more from the foundation. Yeah.
Okay, okay. How are we looking with the foundation?
We
Yeah.
we just in a PO through purchasing to
Okay.
start pay. We have two individuals that have two different companies, but they team up to form these foundations. One guy, Charlie, I can't remember his last name, right? McCabe, Charlie McCabe. He found the foundation in Austin, Texas, and ran the foundation in Austin, Texas. And these two also were these two companies that are teaming up. They also founded the foundation in Stanford Parks.
Okay.
So they're
Okay.
they have a lot of experience. In fact, Charlie has done a lot of work in Seattle as well. So very capable people, and I think we'll be getting going pretty soon. I think the first thing is to put together a steering committee. So
Okay, that's cool.
I would say within a month or two, they'll have some
Okay.
information on that. Yeah.
Okay. And then can you receive donations on this fund account, or that can only be for the foundation side of it?
Foundation, but grants can go in here. Grants can go into this fund, and so we right now receive grants from Stu Leonard Foundation for Swimming. Those kinds of things can go into this fund.
Okay.
It's in the document. It has a list of things that go into the fund.
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Mr. Lopez?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Stowers. This is awesome. This is very cool. Two quick questions. Is there a continuity plan in case of another staffing shortage? Because I saw there was a problem somewhere in the document mentioned something like that previously. And if most of that the 229K is used for the new the new recreational center, is there any way to make sure the fund doesn't get drained in future years?
Um, it's an accumulative, it's an ongoing fund. And usually, I come from a budgeting background, finance background. Usually when you have a long history of a long history of expenditures and revenues that are pretty consistent. I think that, you can kind of project that it's going to at least maintain at that level. What we hope to do is bring it above that level with new programs. We'll have the recreation center, which is going to give us additional money. We have three rooms there that we will be renting out for birthday party celebrations, wedding reception, funeral repasses, all those kinds of things. And we also have two commercial kitchens. One will be a catering catering kitchen, and one will be a teaching kitchen. And we hope to maybe put out an RFP for at least 3 caterers that people can use, because we want to be able to control that. So we see ourselves at building revenue and building programs. So we think the revenues will continue to grow and not run out.
Okay, and what about, thanks, Trevor. And what about like in terms of like the staffing shortage, in case something like that was to occur again? I think it was a sports director
I think it was swimming, wasn't it?
I think something like that. It's one of, yeah, it's something, I might have read it. Yeah,
it was swimming. Well, I mean, what happened there was the revenues went down because the schools required more use of the pool. So it took some of our hours away. But those are going to be replenished this year, and then in the coming years, we'll have a new pool where not only will be able to use that pool after hours, but during school hours, because they made access a separate access for us to get in and use it at certain hours. So that just gives us actually more hours. So we're always thinking these things through so that that we can guard against some of the downside.
Right. Okay, great. Thanks so much, Mr. Sowers. Thank you.
Delene, I think Jared Schmidt is waiting to get on if we had any questions. Do you see him? There he is. Jared,
Hi there.
how are you?
I'm all right. How are you all doing? I'm in transit right now. But yeah, I'm here if anybody has any questions about the budget, just to kind of say a little bit more about what Robert hit on with regard to Johan's question. So that, that's one of the reasons that it's important that we're adding to this the requirement that it be budgeted every year, and that this account be budgeted every year, so that we have full visibility if we can anticipate any issues like that. We don't at this point. We don't, like Robert said, it has a history of generating surpluses, and as far as we can tell in the future, we'll continue to do so. But having this presented to the BET and to the Common Council in the future in detail is going to be helpful in that, so that we can we'll identify any of those problems before they happen.
Great, thank you, Jared. Any further questions for Jared? No? All right. All right, so if there are no more questions, all in favor? All right, that's unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jared. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jared.
Welcome.
So we're going to move on to item 7, discussion. A, capital project, beach camp building renovation, with O'Riordan Megani Architects. That was it. So, who's gonna speak to that? Robert?
I can't speak to that.
Ken?
As you know, we're developing plans to cover one of our facilities to make it a pavilion for our summer camps, and it will serve other purposes as well, including, Johan, raising more revenue. so I'm gonna let Ken speak to it.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. So a few years ago, we started a summer camp down at Calf Pasture Beach, which turned out to be wildly popular. So as you guys know, the buildings down at Calf Pasture are old buildings. I believe they're original to the 50s, and they weren't really conducive to running camps, but we made it work. And one of the biggest things down there is the buildings didn't have any covering. So whenever there was inclement weather or if it was too hot, we had to move the kids down to Marvin School for the remainder of the day, which caused a lot of issues with pickup because now we had to let the parents know that we moved the kids down to Marvin School. So because the beach camp has been so popular, we looked into doing a renovation on the existing buildings to make it more conducive to hold classrooms down there and a summer camp. So what we are looking to do is to put some type of covering over the buildings using the existing footprint. There is a set of bathrooms in the building that is no longer used. So we're looking to update those bathrooms for the kids. So if you're looking at the two main buildings down at Calf Pasture, the building we're talking about is also known as Pavilion number 2, which is right behind the women's room, just to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking to do. So we had a concept plan done about 2 years ago, and then we went for capital funding this past budget year. So we do have 1.4 million allocated to this project. So we did go out to bid, and O'Riordan Megani was the bidder that we chose. So we're looking forward to this project. It's going to be put to use. Kids are excited, counselors are excited, our camp director is excited. And not only can we do camps, but we can also use it as a learning center and indoor classroom space down at Calf Pasture. And really, what's better than that?
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Any questions? No questions?
So this actually went
well,
to,
that's it.
I'm sorry, I was just gonna say, this actually
went.
went to,
Yeah.
it didn't come to this committee because of the cost of the estimate, so it actually had to go to land use. So it was approved by the land use committee, and then it's gonna go to the full council. But we just wanted to bring it to you guys here, just for awareness, so you kind of knew what was going on.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes. Okay. Anything else? I think we had maybe a few more things we wanted to discuss, Robert, maybe an update on the where we are with the recreation center, the new rec center.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Very exciting. Very exciting. In terms of where we are today, I don't know if it has anyone taken a tour or been down there or been inside. Yeah, we need to take you guys on a tour. That's what we need to do. One day, plan that to meet down there. We recently went down there with Tom Livingston and a couple other folks from the council, but not from this council. And
I was there,
also-
Robert.
Were
Barbara
you there?
was
That's
there.
right.
Yeah,
That's
there
right.
were
You
a
were
couple
there.
of us
That's
there.
right. Vanessa, a bunch of us went down there. But right now, what they're doing is most of the place has been drywalled. Most of the drywall's all up. They're putting in the lighting. The gym basically is, it's up. The foundation set, the structure's all up. They're just doing the interior stuff now in the gym. We've ordered all of our flooring, furnishings and equipment, with the exception of our computers for the computer lab and our equipment for our game room. But the YMCA also has ordered all their furnishings and equipment for their STEM classes and also their esports program. And we're under budget. I think our budget was something like $359,000. I think we're like $20,000 under right now. And also the Y has met their budget as well. We've this went before the purchasing department, and last week went before the land use committee. It had to go before that, along with the update for the recreation center. They're still on. We are still on our time schedule to be completed by March. We anticipate after that we will take a month or two to get all our furnishings in. All our furnishings have been ordered, but it's going to take 2 to 3 months to get everything. Hopefully, we'll get all our furnishings in. We'll start working on our policies and our procedures and our operational plans. So when we get in, we anticipate we'll open probably sometime in April, or the latest would be the first part of May. It's coming along beautifully. It's going to be a real asset to this community. And I think that we're also having, making sure we have some transportation for the kids that might have ADA. So and we have, Ken has ordered, or is in the midst of ordering, 2 vans that were in our capital budget, would transport kids to programs, and maybe some of the kids from the housing authority, the housing projects, to our center. Me and Adam, we've been talking back and forth about how we can interact and get the kids into the center. So we're real excited about this. It's been a big lift, but everybody's cooperated, and it's been a big lift, but in a way it's been easy as well. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at with the center. Any questions? In terms of staffing, we will be posting the manager of recreation. We'll be hiring a manager of the recreation community center. So that post will go out, I think, tomorrow. I approved it today, and we'll be using a lot of part-time staff, but we'll be using some of our staff, our senior staff, because just to get it going. And over the years, we'll try and build our staff, but we're going to have to do a lot of rotation and a lot of covering each other, because we just don't have the money to build up the staff the way we need to build it up. But we will build it up over time. So I don't know if anyone has any questions.
Johan, your hand is up. I'm just thinking you just left it up.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I just left it
All
up.
right.
Sorry.
So it's just been amazing watching the development of it. I'm really excited about it, and inside it, it's going to be a real asset for not just South Norwalk, but for the city. But it really is going to be a good thing for the community. So can't wait for that to open its doors. So the only thing I'm going to throw out there, because we're always thinking green and it's a city-owned property, there's that little awning that we have in the front. And you know how, Lisa, we were talking about a green wall or a green something. I'm just putting it out there. I don't, may not happen. I've already shared it with Ken, and
We'll have to figure out something.
But making it green or live would be spectacular. It would be really, really nice.
They also have green walls inside too,
Yeah, so we could do that. So I think it's a great
yeah.
idea. So can't wait for that.
We'll
Any
figure out
other
something.
updates?
We'll figure out something. We have our, we get together with with Ken and his people and our arborists, horticulturalists, and we'll think of something.
Yeah. Any other updates, Robert?
Know that our arborist Sarah Cruz is going to become permanent.
Yay.
We gave her an offer letter today or tomorrow, yesterday, Ken, sometime. I think it was yesterday. We gave her an offer letter. So hopefully she'll accept it.
Well, that was the next question. Did she accept it?
I think she'll accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good update. So that's 2 new staff that we'll have working. Although Sarah's not new, but the position's permanent, which is good.
Right.
It was an ARPA funded position, so.
Miss Edie?
Thank you, Chair. Just real quick, Mrs. Dunn, it might be in the paperwork, I don't know, but the posting for the posting for the job, can you send that
Yeah,
over?
we can do that. We can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Thank you.
both?
No,
Both? The manager. Okay, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Miss Shanahan is not Lisa? Oh. I wanted to know between you and Robert and Ken, if you just wanted to give an update on the microforest. I don't know if we talked about that much, but I think that at this level. You're on, yeah. Mute.
There we go. I had to find my mute button. I think it's going well, don't you, Ken? We have been lucky that we've been getting some rain. So the last couple falls, we haven't had a lot of rain, but this fall we have had some better rain. And then Ken, to his undying credit, somehow or another found a connection that might bring some water in that we're going to be able to connect, and that'll be able to give us water for the next several years. So I think we're pretty pleased with the way everything's going. Ken, I was over there maybe last week. Have you been over there more recently where it's?
Yeah, no, it looks good. You know, the nights are cooler now. We are getting more
Yeah.
moisture, so watering is not as crucial as it was, a month ago. No, it's looking good.
Great.
Yeah, so we're pretty pleased. So we'll be having some more meetings and things like that to get the community involved, and then also to do some more educational stuff. So I'll be sending you guys notes about that from my retirement.
Great. All right.
Another thing that I'm kind of excited about, I don't know if this will happen, but it's kind of in the works. We've been trying to come up with answers to how to use Andrews Field, as nature is taking over that. And so there is a grant opportunity that I think we'll be working with Aspetuck on to do something there, to do something that make it useful to the public. I know there are wetland developers that develop wetlands, and so that it can be accessible to the public as a habitat, wetland habitat or whatever. But we are right now just putting our brains together, putting together this grant. So with Aspetuck. So I can give you, I can update you on it, but I think it was badly needed, because that big hunk of land just sitting there unused, being taken over by nature. We should be able to do something with it. So
it's super exciting. I think Ken might remember that right before COVID, we had the Norwalk Land Trust had called Ken and Alexis. This was before Robert's time, to say, hey, can we do something with you guys with that? Because it's just turning right back into a wetland. And so it's, I know that Johann's like I did for compost, but it's not appropriate for that because you can't put leaves on top of a wetland. So this is really exciting. And I think that now that I've changed hats and I'm not with Norwalk Land Trust anymore, I'm with Aspetuck Land Trust, which is also representing Norwalk lands. They're very excited to find a green infrastructure project to work with the city on. So thrilled to hear about this potential project.
Yep.
Great. So if there's nothing else, I think Ms. Shanahan?
Might be my last motion to adjourn.
Oh my God. All right, all in favor. I guess we're all gonna adjourn. Thank you. But
Thank you
before
very
we
much.
go, but I believe we have one more meeting, don't we? We do. Okay, I don't want to say goodbye yet.
I thought we did. Yeah, I thought we did.
Yeah, we've got one more meeting next month. Let's not rush things. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
everyone, have a good
Good night.
night. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.